We're rolling.
Rolling. First off, sponsorship. Fireball, get us.
Yes, sir, we did, Storm. Got it done. Go Birds. Yeah, Fireball. Sponsorship opportunity. And Monster Energy now, too.
Yep, all of them. Why not? Give us some money.
Monster Energy. And El Pantalones Tequila by Matthew McConaughey.
Perfect. And Sprite?
Uh-huh.
Sprite, too.
All the beverage sponsors were thirsty. Thirsty folks. So we're currently watching the Super Bowl. So we're going to start off episode 13 with a few little Super Bowl stats.
Super Bowl stats.
Looked up the average ticket price for this year was $8,076 for a ticket to Super Bowl 59.
Woof.
That's a lot of money.
A little bit of cheddar.
Yeah, that is unreasonable.
Cheapest, though, was $2,500. So, I mean, you could have gotten the deal.
What was the most expensive?
Ooh. Here we go. Now we're talking. Oh
$25,000. There we go.
So you could buy a car
Or go to the football.
or go to the Super Bowl.
I'm loving this one, man. The Super Bowl's coming out pretty all right, in my opinion. The rain is over. Thank God. Taylor Swift's going to cry. Make a new album about it.
I'm here for it. Please do. We need more of that in this world. More Tay-Tay, please.
Forget my partner here is a Swiftie. I told you I made fun with some Swifties in Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
And they're serious people, man. I took my daughter to Barnes & Noble. And she was just walking through there, and these people were talking about a Taylor Swift book, and I was like, shouldn't read that. They take offense to everything you say. Don't talk about their queen.
It's like a religion almost. A little scary. I mean, I like her music a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to, crying at Barnes & Nobles about it.
I know you're not a big sportsy guy, but what's happening here is the Chiefs had an opportunity for a three-peat, which has never been done.
Okay.
And that's not going to fucking happen. So
yeah, I can tell.
We're fine with it. Yeah, it's time for them to go on home.
Your reign is over.
What's the highest viewership Super Bowl ever?
We shall see. Apparently, I needed to Google that at some point. I know exactly when that was. I was in a little bit of an altered state at that point. We're looking for the highest Super Bowl viewership.
Yeah.
That P is a little.
49% of households in 1982.
That seems.
49%.
I feel like it would be more than that.
I don't know. 49% of the whole damn country.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That is a lot.
Super Bowl 58.
Chiefs
123 million average across all platforms. That's an average, so that's people on and off.
So that was last year, right?
Yeah, that's nuts. 133 million.
I was going to say 130.
Yeah, bunch. Over a third of the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
That is wild.
A lot of it's for I know my mom never has given a shit about Super Bowl, but she watches it for the commercials.
Are the commercials good now?
Well, it's always been a thing to have a Super Bowl commercial.
Right. I feel like, because I don't watch this stuff, so I don't know. But
typically, they're kind of some iconic commercials. But look up a cost of a 30-second Super Bowl ad.
Okay, yeah. Oh my God. $8 million for 30 seconds.
Wow.
$8 million for 30 seconds.
And half of them, I don't know what the fuck they're selling. I don't know what we're watching right now. It's about poppy soda.
Oh, my wife loves that stuff.
What is it?
It's like a probiotic soda.
Soda that makes you shit?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
All right.
I will say that she gets like the orange and she'll mix it with
tequila.
not tequila. She'll put like a coffee creamer, like a little bit of coffee creamer, and then like milk.
Make like an orange dreamsicle.
Oh, it's so good.
It's not like you drink it.
I've only like sipped on it. I've never had like, but it was delicious. Willem Dafoe?
Yes. Yeah.
Weird.
Have you ever watched the Super Bowl?
I used to watch it a lot. Back in Missouri, my uncle was super big into football. So we used to live in Missouri, so he was a big Rams fan.
Yeah.
Back when they were still in St. Louis. So we would get together. Our whole family would come over, watch the Super Bowl. But even then, it was like, we would just watch for the commercials.
Yeah.
Because like us as kids were like, we don't really care about sport.
And the Rams weren't in it.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. That would definitely attribute to it.
Yeah. Well, what's been going on in your world?
A lot, honestly.
Yeah.
A lot.
Touchdown.
Dang. Yeah, this lead is going even further. So let's see. I know Thomas and I talked about it a little last week. I feel like I almost like had like a spiritual awakening a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
As like not a religious awakening. So there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
In that, like, I almost like I feel like a caterpillar that went into its cocoon, and now I'm a big, beautiful butterfly.
That's off of a movie.
Bug's Life?
That and I feel like that's off of another. I feel like that's off of, for some reason, I want to say Superbad.
Ooh.
I think that's between Michael Cera and Fat Guy.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah. I think there's something there. I might be bad wrong.
There could be.
I think that's something.
Let's see. Let's just do a little fact checking.
So while you're fact checking, why do you think you had this spiritual awakening?
I'm not sure why it happened. I mean, I'm always trying to better myself, explore different avenues of self-progression, if you will. Excuse me. And it was like going into this powerlifting meet, I was, really wanting this 2K total. Like that was what we've been training for almost all of last year, because the summer meet, I was like so close to hitting it.
Yeah.
So that just like compounded into this last one. So like that was a big goal that I was just like honing in on. And going into it, I was just like trying to mentally prepare myself and like mentally strengthen my brain and prepare like, hey, we're going to do some heavy shit. We're going to crush it. We're going to come in. We're going to perform to our best. And then I got sick like the week of and kind of fucked myself. So it didn't happen. And I don't really know what like the impetus of this transformation, if you will, was. But like, I'll say where I feel like it might have started in a way. We were at Above and Beyond squatting.
Mm-hmm.
It was my last heavy squat. Mm-hmm. That was was it 3 weeks or 4 weeks out? 3 weeks out. And when we were at Greg's gym, this dude walks in. I was like, oh, I know this dude. Yeah. It's this dude that I've cleaned his cars for years. And my wife works at a dance studio, and his daughter danced at that studio. So we had interactions for several years.
Right.
And I was like, oh, cool, this guy's here. And so I went and just chatted it up. I was like, I don't know that. I just felt like this weird energy that was like, I really want to talk to this dude right now. And so we just had a little conversation. Just he does more like CrossFit style training where I'm squatted 785 that day. He's like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it is crazy. So then we did that, and then I got like sick into the powerlifting meeting. That bummed me out because I was like really wanting to
get that monkey off your back.
Yeah, get that monkey off my back. That's a great way to put it. And that didn't happen. So that was on a Saturday. Sunday, my dog's got in a big fight.
Yep.
First thing in the morning, had to go to the hospital. I was there all day. Like her ear was super fucked to where the point where it was like her cartilage was poking out of her ear.
That's gross.
Oh my gosh, I was freaking out. My wife was out of town too, so I was just like freaking absolutely the fuck out. That was all Sunday. Sunday, I think I ate like maybe like half a meal that whole day because I was just stressed to the max. And the following week, with my work, I'm usually got headphones in. I'm usually listening to like a podcast or a book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to music a ton
because I run out of music.
Huh?
I run out of music.
I definitely run out of music. Things get like repetitive.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so much information out there that I just want to gobble it up.
I'm not like, we'll get back to like that brings
Yeah,
up a
for
good
sure.
point. Like I'm a podcast person, big time, and it's like in my job, I'm driving all damn day,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm always on the damn phone. So it's like with the podcast, my phone rings over the truck. It, for some reason, doesn't interrupt me as much. It's like jamming out some music.
Yes.
Ring, 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 and then back to like it'll take me, 15 minutes to get through a 4-minute song because my phone keeps ringing. And with the podcast, though, I can it's still spoken word.
Right.
On the phone, spoken word.
Mm-hmm.
Get off that, right back to spoken word. And then, like you said, there's so much stuff out there. I have to be careful. Like I'll start podcasts, and then I went through kind of my podcast archive there today and deleted some shows that I don't find entertaining anymore, and just kind of honed down some stuff because most of the shows I listen to are 2 and 3 hour episodes.
Yeah.
So, and with what I'm reading, how that could take me 3 damn days to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but and I get what you're saying. Yeah, music is it's hard. Every now and then I will. Like normally on the way home, I'll jam out some stuff.
Yeah, whenever you're kind of trying to relax and like just kind of like mellow, it's like play some music to kind of chill out. And it's like, especially after working a full day, your brain's tired. So it's like I don't really want to like put more stuff in here because it's kind of done taking stuff in. Let's just kind of zone out, have fun with some music.
Yeah. It's back to your spiritual awakening.
Yeah. So I listen to Chris Williamson's podcast like off and on. I don't listen to every episode.
I don't like that guy.
You don't like him?
No. Hey, he talks too slow.
Oh, you got to speed that up. You got to speed it up.
He talks way too damn slow, and it's just kind of. It's always the kind of the same thing. Like he dives into kind of the same topics with the same person, and it's just nothing I really want to. I just don't much. I don't know. It's weird. I like stuff. Like with Rogan, he'll have somebody on. He'll have a beekeeper on one day, and then the next week he'll have an astrophysicist. Like you're always getting different shit,
right?
So
yeah, Chris is kind of in the same vein most of the time, and yeah, I could see that. Again, like he was somebody that I would like listen to if it was somebody that I knew, and that was like, oh, I know this guest that he's having. I for sure want to listen to this one. And I don't know why. I take that back. I do know why. I had listened to, again, like Theo Vaughn, his podcast is one that I'm like hit or miss. That is like, I think he's hilarious and funny as shit.
His is getting, his gets real good.
Yes.
Especially like he's had some more serious people on.
Mm-hmm.
And he had one on a couple weeks ago. It was like a lady that like runs this anti-pornography establishment,
Okay.
and like the stats she was saying was bone chilling of that industry, and like
Yeah.
it wasn't just two comedians saying dumb shit back and forth for 2 hours. Like it was actually educational. To see him in that light was kind of a cool thing.
Okay. I'll have to go back and watch that one because that sounds interesting. So Theo had Tony Robbins on, and he was one that, like, I had like cursory, like you hear the name Tony Robbins, it's like, yeah, he's this motivational guy, and that's like all that I knew about him.
Right.
But like his interactions with Theo,
he's a giant as well.
Oh yeah, ginormous, because he had a brain tumor.
Yeah.
And like some of the things that he was saying with Theo, like I got emotional and like I physically cried a little bit during his podcast with Theo, which at the time was kind of surprising. Now, not so much because I'm kind of super emotional now.
Right.
And so then I saw that Tony was on Chris's podcast, and I was like, oh, like I really love the one with Theo. I'll listen to this one. And I did. And Tony was like promoting this free seminar that he was doing, which happened to be like the weekend that I was listening to it. So I was like, yeah, for sure, I'm going to sign up for the thing. It's free. It was like a 3-day seminar. I know I talked about this on the last one, so suck it up. Getting it twice. Not apologizing anymore. And so I was like, okay, cool. And loved it. Loved this interaction. It's just like, he seems like such a genuine dude.
Yeah.
And so I did the seminar. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then ended up doing another day on the following Monday, 3 hours a day. So that was 12 hours of interacting with this dude over, the internet. Right. So it's like, I'm not having a conversation, but I'm listening. And like, fuck, it just had such a profound effect on me.
Good.
Very good. And like I cried a fuckload during the thing because it was just like these stories of these people who went through horrible shit, but got through it. And that was just super inspiring to me. And one of the things that he said was, he's like, realistically, be honest with yourself where you're at right now. It's like, don't bullshit yourself. Realize where you're at, and then realize where you want to be. It's like, again, be realistic, be honest with yourself. And once you've found those two things, only then can you find how to get there.
Yep.
And then he said, what's really helpful is to find somebody who's already done it, who's already not necessarily done exactly what you want to do, but maybe adjacent in a similar way.
Yeah.
And immediately in my head, I was like, oh, this dude that I met, not that I met at the gym, that I saw at the gym that I know, I was like, he seems like a guy who's got it together. He's got a big house. Anytime that I saw him like interact with his wife or his kids, it was like awesome. It seems like an awesome relationship between them. And so whenever I heard that, I was like, this is the dude that I got to reach out to. So I did. And I sent him this message. I was like, hey, this is going to sound super weird. I did this Tony Robbins thing. And he said, find somebody who's done these things. And you're the first person that popped into mind. It's like, you seem like you're successful and you've got good relationship with your family. I was like, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, that's such a great message. He's like, I would love to. We set up a time, which happened to be this past Friday. And so I went over, and dude, it's crazy because like this is just the person that I thought of because I was like, okay, he's successful. This is what this guy does. He like mentors people all across the country.
No shit.
And I had no fucking clue that this guy did that. He's like, I got people, and he's got these millionaires in Scottsdale, Arizona, that he's going to see soon to like do like marriage coaching and like business coaching. He's like, I got people in Atlanta. I've got people all over the country that I go and visit, that I just help. I'm like, Okay, how fucking weird is it that the one person that I thought of to like get a little bit of mentoring, that like I was just like, maybe he's gonna help me, maybe not.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
That's cool.
Super cool. Super weird.
Yeah.
Super weird.
It's like everything happens for a reason.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost it is. And then so I get over there, we start talking, and like we just talk about like our spiritual beliefs, which are, you know, probably not common to most people in this area. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like, this is me 10 years down the line.
Good.
And he said the same thing. He's like, holy shit, like you're me 10 years ago.
Good.
And he's like, whenever you text me, I thought I was going to have like a 40-minute conversation and we'll like part ways and, you know, keep in touch.
Mm-hmm.
We sat down and we talked for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And then not only that, we set up, he's like, this dude loves to run.
Okay.
And he's like, do you run much? I'm like, not even a little.
So it's his fault why I did a 5K.
Yeah, it's his fault.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you're a runner now. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I need you to stay strong too.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
And so he's like, come back on Sunday. We set up a time. He's like, we're going to go for a run. And so I'm like, okay, we'll do like a mile, maybe 2 at max. So I got there this morning. And he's like, so I was thinking, you know, we could do like 3, maybe 4 miles, or we could do 6. I'm like, you know what? I'm here. Fuck it. Let's do 6. Never done that. I've never done that. Never ran that much in one session in my entire life.
Did you run that much last year?
Fuck no.
Exactly.
No. In all of last year, in all of like, let's say the last 5 years, I probably haven't ran that much.
Yeah, you run 15 feet at a time at shooting competitions. That's crab walking.
That's about it. Yeah. And I did it.
Hey, you went 7.2.
Yeah.
In an 11:42 pace.
Yeah.
Which is not fucking shabby.
It's not. It's not.
And so because you did that, you know, I was sitting here on the couch like a slug, and my little 17-month-old was running around. It was cold outside. We hadn't been outside all day. I was like, well, hell, Jeffrey went and ran. I'm a big proponent of not running. I completely blowed up hip, not supposed to run. I was like, we'll go run a mile. Just
a mile.
Just see what happens. So slapped her in the little running stroller, bundled her all up, put the little rain guard on there, and took off the neighborhood because I knew how to map out 1 mile. And she was giggling and having a hell of a time. And so, you know, I was like, well, she's having fun, so we'll just keep running. And I ended up doing a 5K. And like right at 33 minutes, averaged like a 10:25 mile pace. Which, yeah, I was super stoked about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, body, brain, and like the weird thing about doing hard shit is your brain does feel good afterwards.
Yeah.
Like my body isn't feel the greatest. Like my hips sitting like a 6.
Yeah.
You know, but I think I'd be down to like run once a week.
Yeah.
You know, run a 5K. Once a week 5K, I think is fine. It's like pacing's always been my issue, but like I was pushing her in a stroller, so I kept my pace.
Right, because you're not going to like go fucking crazy and jostle her all around.
And you know, she loved the crap out of it. So make my child happy, make myself happy.
Yeah,
you know, we're all good. That was a good time. So yeah, now I know whose fault it was.
Yeah, no, you can say some words to him whenever he comes on the podcast.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, that was. I had no expectation of doing that today. I was like, maybe we'll do 2 miles. Like, we'll get crazy and we'll do 2 miles.
Yeah.
And like, I surprised myself when I was like, yeah, let's do 6. I'm like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? You can't do that. And I honestly didn't think that I could.
Did you feel good?
I felt amazing.
So was there any point in time? So like, I know the hardest part for me is the first 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 3/4 of the way through.
So we pretty well like jogged the whole time. I stopped. I mean, didn't stop. I think I slowed to a walking pace 3 times during that whole time, and was maybe like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I need a drink, and we're talking the whole time, which is like, how am I talking and running?
It keeps your brain occupied. And like even like when I talked about your heart rate stats earlier, you average like a high 150, which is like a zone 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still able to talk in zone 3.
Yeah. I didn't feel like I was ever unable to talk. The way that it mapped out I think it was the last mile was was fairly difficult because it was mostly uphill.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, that was probably like the second to last half mile was mostly uphill. And then the last half mile was downhill. So after you got that half mile in, you're just like,
fucking hate running downhill. I feel like my feet weigh 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
you just feel like you're flopping.
Like,
yeah.
And it's probably I don't know how to fucking run. It's just, one of those things. But yeah, for me, the hardest part of running is the first 100 yards and like 3/4 of the way through. Just like, why am I doing this? But at the same time, you're however distance you are away from your house or your vehicle or whatever. Mm-hmm. So you might as well just keep going.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was something he said. He's like, this is the last stretch. He's like, we're not stopping.
Yeah.
Like, don't stop.
Yeah.
And so we didn't, and fuck, I did it, which is insane.
I tried to stop one time, and Mia started yelling at me. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess
we're not stopping.
Keep on running. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So
if you need somebody to motivate you, get a very small child, and they'll... if they're reliant on you moving for their entertainment,
you'll run.
You better keep moving. Yeah. You better keep moving.
And she doesn't like traffic lights either.
Really?
She loves being in the car, but you get to a traffic light, hates it.
She's like, I need to be moving at all times.
Yeah. Like, unless it's good weather and I can roll the window down and she like wave to people and stuff. But she hates. You like the motion.
That's awesome. So yeah, that was mind-blowing.
That's pretty cool. So since you've had this, we'll call it you call it a spiritual awakening, like your butterfly moment.
Mm-hmm.
We can also, I guess, call it do you call it like an epiphany?
Yeah, I think that's a good word. Yeah.
What's Webster saying epiphany is? We're not being completely stupid. That's Epiphone.
I thought it was the same. Okay, well, I see. I don't even know how to spell it. Oh my god. How the fuck do you spell it? How do you spell it?
Don't ask me.
Come on, Google.
There it is.
There we go. But nope. That's definitely not. It says a Christian holiday that I've never heard of this. Have you heard of this?
No.
Google says Epiphany is a Christian holiday that celebrates the arrival of Jesus Christ and the visit of the Magi.
Oh, so that was like one of the 3 wise men.
Oh, it's okay. Here we go. It's with a Y. Spelling is hard, people. A moment when you suddenly feel that you understand or suddenly become conscious of something that is very important to you. A powerful religious experience. So yeah, that would be a good word for it.
So with all that being said, it's like those are very deserved and those are very good things to happen. Do you feel? I sometimes feel like people force it, and it typically 8 times out of 10 doesn't work out.
Yeah,
or they go searching for it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those things kind of like you didn't know that dude was gonna be at the gym that day.
Nope,
and he was.
Yeah.
Y'all linked up again. Y'all already had some, rapport together, so it worked out. Do you feel it's like, I don't feel like you can force those things?
No,
that's something that has to happen naturally.
I think that's almost like the essence of it, in that if you go searching for it, you're never going to find it.
Yeah.
It has to be.
So I kind of feel like sometimes it'll happen, like you'll be throttling up, and like going through some rocky shit. Holy shit. do some rocky shit happen in your life, and you'll feel like it's never going to break.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like some point in time in the stretch of these tribulations that you go through, some point in time there you're like, all right, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to get all this shit back on track. I'm going to get this train moving down the fucking road. And it never works out. And it kind of seems like once you stop, like once you like, all right, well, I guess we're going to be in the suck for a moment. So fuck it. We might as well just make the best of it as we can. I feel like right around that time is when the oh shit moment happens. And some stars align, and typically that's when it works out. Like I've had a real rough going on a year, and I've made mistakes like trying to force something, trying to make something happen, and then kind of just accept like, all right, man. Well, for the time being, we're going to be in some suck, so we can do a couple XYZ things here and there to make it happen. But like, I've never felt like trying to force. You can't force good upon yourself. I don't think. Like you can do things to like, obviously, like if you've got some bad habits, maybe you can limit that. If you've got some, just starting as simple as like maybe going to bed earlier, or eating better, you can do that yourself. But shit like what you had going on, you can't force that.
Mm-mm.
Not a chance.
Yeah, no, and I think what you said was exactly right. In that, if you're looking for it, like, where is this thing? Where's the solution to all my problems? And
right.
You're like, I've got to fix it right now. And I think that's probably where I was without maybe knowing it. That like, and us as men, we're like, we got to fix it right now. It needs to be fixed. Fix.
We're also supposed to like, as stronger like alpha characteristic men, we're also just genuinely expected to have our shit together.
yeah.
Nope. So yeah.
That's a little easier said than done.
Yeah. And it sometimes people come into your life that make things easier and show you how you deserve to be treated and show you things differently, and you just gotta at that point it's up to you. You either accept it or you don't. And obviously, your interaction with this dude is great. I look forward to getting him on here and meeting him, and he's obviously got a fitness background, so everybody can jive there. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. And whatever it may be, whatever your viewpoint of it is if you're again like trying to force these revelations or these epiphanies, it doesn't work that way. You almost have to like surrender to
just let it go.
To whatever that be, the universe, God, whatever you want to put the label on it. Which is scary for people because we want to be in control of everything. We want to have all the variables covered. We want to be able to be prepared for every possible situation. But it's funny that whenever you like let that off and you're like, you know what, I'm going to release some of this control. I'm going to let whatever happens happen.
Typically, something works out.
Yep.
Yeah. That happens in everything. In every walk of life. That's the thing. I always refer to it a lot, but I have a 17-month-old little girl, and in her stage of life, she's now super mobile and she gets into stuff, and we're in there, and what I have to sit back and realize is like today I had the pantry open, I was trying to cook her dinner, and we're just keep on like trying to get stuff. Well, at the same time, it's like, I look at her as like, man, no, don't do that. Well, here's the thing. I'm lived 33 years of life. She lived 17 months. Mm-hmm. So like at that moment in time, the biggest moment her whole ass life was me telling her, don't dump all the spoons on the floor. Biggest moment she's ever had.
Yeah.
That is her pinnacle of life, was me telling her, don't dump all the spoons on the floor. And we had a fucking meltdown. Like we did not like me telling her, Mia, don't dump the spoons in the floor. And I took the spoons from her and put them back at meltdown until I realized you have to sit back and realize real quick, like, oh shit, like those spoons were, that's hers, and like you took them from her, and so that all comes out to that's a huge moment in life, and so you have to look at people differently. It's like people might not have experienced the same stuff you've gone through. No one's experienced the same things you've gone through. That's yours.
Right.
Yeah. It always is really weird to me when you talk about things happening in people's life and people try to, people hold, with moments that happen in people's life, people hold their own pain. And they hold their own pain, they hold their own joy. And what you have to realize is that's yours. Those are your possessions at that time. And yes, you can reach out, you can allow people to have access to your pain, to your joys. But at the end of the day, it's yours. And there's not one solid person that can do anything about that besides you. Yeah, you can have assistance here and there, but at the end of the day, you have to deal with your pain. You have to deal with your joys and figure out those footsteps and those, paver stones to walk that path. And so it's real cool that, you kind of in a spot, and I know we, didn't have the meat we wanted and you got sick and all that, but looking back on it, you figured out like, okay, well, we can readjust and go on to the next one. But and then you ran with this dude. Like if you weren't training for that meet, you never ran into that guy.
Right.
You never ran 7 miles a day. You never have set up this mentor that could possibly lead you to a better relationship with your wife, a better relationship with your family, more income, better, career standings, like all these things. And so everything sets up for something else. Mm-hmm. So like it just kind of goes on to the point of when shit starts falling backwards and shit starts falling downhill, don't quit. Yes, obviously there's a way to not handle things. Like if shit starts going downhill, maybe it's like, oh, well, instead of, doing this and trying to kind of move these little tweaks of physical things you can, like, well, I'm just going to start drinking 18 beers. That won't.
That's an option.
It's an option. It won't fix it.
Yeah.
Drink Fireball instead.
Fireball, baby.
But it's just kind of one of those things that it's really cool that happened to you, and it proves the fact that things will happen. You just gotta trust the process, and that's on a religious point of view. That's on anything you want to go. Trust the process. Everything happens for a reason, and just just one foot in front of the other.
Yep.
There's not what's something bad that happened to you last week? One negative thing happened to you last week.
Last week, my dog got fucked up.
Okay.
That was pretty bad.
What are you going to do about it right now?
Nothing right now.
Nothing. There's not one thing you can do that happened 30 seconds. There's never a moment in time until someone comes up with a time machine. You can't do shit
right
about anything that happened 5 seconds ago. You can't do it. And yeah, sometimes we got to sit in the suck and we got to, we can mourn about some things, but at the end of the day, there's nothing you can fucking do about it. Mm-hmm. What we can do is figure out the game plan and figure out how A, we can make it not ever happen again, B, improve upon the situation, and move on down the street.
Yep.
And so a lot of people, come home with a shit-ass day at work, and they just hold this shit right on their chest. Hell, I do it all the time. I'll come home screaming mad sometimes about customers and management and stuff like that. And then you're just like, why the fuck am I in a bad mood right now? There ain't a damn thing I can do what happened 4 hours ago. But maybe I need to change X, Y, Z. It won't ever happen again.
Yep.
So you know, got to live life one day at a time. And yeah, you can plan and you can do this and that, other, but you also have to, in that plan for change, plan for failure, and then also on the positive side, plan for improvement.
Yeah.
You might have this whole plan laid out, and then some other stuff happened. There's a situation you never had been.
Yeah.
So it can work both ways. Mm-hmm. I guess that what me and you talked about earlier, me and you talked about this little reel that I've seen a lot on Instagram here lately. And the people listening, this might turn dark a little, but don't think that we're talking about it in a real dark way. I think both of us do have an understanding that there's really, you got a guarantee in life. You're gonna fucking die.
Yep.
So there's not much else is guaranteed. One thing is guaranteed is you ain't promised nothing.
Yep. So,
and the whole reel and the whole meme thing I've seen is, you're sitting in a bar and the bartender pours your drink, and all of a sudden death walks in. Whatever figure you see, whether it's a guy in a black coat with a sickle, whatever figure that might be, death walks in. I view that as Taylor Swift. So, death walks in, sits down beside you, says, "Hey, bud, so I'm going to need you to finish that up with It's Time to Go."
Now, if it was Taylor Swift, I'd be like, let's go!
What's your response to that? Are you like, I don't like to paint pictures thing, but like, do you feel satisfied about it? Do you feel like, well, this is my choice. I've done X, Y, and Z. My wife knows that I love her, like, or do you start immediately spinning through regrets, or what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good thought experiment for everybody to do, because then you are confronted with those things. Like, if you were to die, or let's just say, if you were to die, or let's say you were to come in contact with death, and he's like, "Bro,
Zip,
we're done. Like, tickets been punched, and we're out of here." Would you feel like satisfied? Would you feel like, man, okay, it's time to go? I feel like I've done all that I need to. I feel like I know that all my people are set up to where, they're going to grieve, but they're going to, for the most part, be satisfied with who I was as a person.
Right.
Or you could look at it the opposite, like, shit, I left everything in chaos.
Right.
None of my none of my relationships are in good standing. I'm leaving my family with a whole bunch of debt, and then who are like just leaving them in a shit place.
Right.
You could do those. I mean, those are kind of the possibilities, or maybe the extreme ends. I mean, personally, I feel like right now I would be okay with it. Like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want it.
This isn't talking about like, well, we neither one of us want to die,
right.
but it's a whole metaphor.
Yeah. I mean, if it were to happen, I feel pretty at peace right now, to where I could be like, okay, I've done some things. I mean, I definitely didn't do everything that I wanted to, but I feel like I've impacted people in good ways.
Yeah.
And that I feel like my wife knows how I feel, and I don't think there's going to be a question there. And honestly, that's all that matters, really.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about that.
That does add a whole element.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like a tricky thing, but if I think it's, again, I'll say it again, I think it's important to think about these things, because you never know what's going to happen. We're not promised tomorrow. Crazy shit happens. So if you think about this and you're like, if I died right now, that would suck a lot. I mean, of course it would suck a lot, but your family would be in a bad place, or your wife, your husband, whatever, doesn't know these, doesn't feel that things are on a good spot, you can fix that right now.
Yeah.
You're still alive. If you're listening to the podcast, you're probably alive.
Hope so.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've reached that many viewers.
No, not yet. So it's important to like consciously think about that, because this is the most powerful tool you've got. I don't give a shit how strong you are. It's not stronger than this.
Nope.
I proved that myself today. There's no way I would have conceived of the possibility of pushing my body that far.
We talked shit about running last night.
I know.
I sat in a lawn chair right over there, and I talked shit about running last night.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be doing that.
And this cocksucker goes and runs 7 miles a day. And I'm like, well, shit. I guess I'm going to go run. And busted out a 5K in just over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's worth a damn or not, but I felt good about it. Spent time with my kid, and we got outdoors. I mean, and we did it in a shit day. Yesterday would have been beautiful.
Yeah,
we picked a day. It was 34 and raining.
Yeah,
so
unpleasant.
Yeah,
unpleasant weather.
And I was, I don't do athletic things in a lot of clothes. I mean, I'm wearing, skank shorts and Under Armour shirt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's hilarious, because whenever we started our run, it was,
keep talking.
It was chilly, but it wasn't raining, and it wasn't super windy. So the dude that I was with, he's like, feel free to like take that switch, because I had on this hoodie, I had on sweats, I was like bundled up because it was cold. And he said, I usually dress for how I think I'm going to feel on mile 2. So he's like, yeah. So he had on a t-shirt, he had on these booty shorts.
Yeah.
And like, so this is how I'm going to dress. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because this was like 5 minutes into the run, and I was starting to get hot. I was like, so I'm probably going to take this hoodie off pretty soon. Then the wind picked up. Then it started raining, and I'm like, man, I sure am glad that I've got all these clothes on. And he's like, you remember when I was giving you shit about wearing all those clothes? He's like, I'm kind of regretting it. I was like, yeah.
I've definitely been on mountain bike rides before. I've started the ride, and damn, no, I'm not in a good spot here. Lane change.
Oh yeah. Circumstances change, and you got to be prepared for it. But I think it's important to do regular evaluations on your life, and if you're not satisfied with how things are, make a conscious effort to change it.
Yeah.
You don't, not to say like, hey, let's fix everything right now, because that's not going to happen.
Nope.
But it's like, what, I would like for these little things to be different. So I know we've talked about it very early on, as far as like habits, and it was like, let's change one thing, see how it goes for a few weeks, then we can add in something new.
Right.
And I think that's a good way to approach it. And
then also you can't, like we've talked about a lot before, you can't pile on too much.
Right.
Because then you make this lifestyle that's absolutely unfucking obtainable. And so like, since I've kind of got out of powerlifting, and I got this banged up hip, it's put me in a bad spot where I'm like, well, I was really strong at one point in time, and I'm still stronger than most, but I played rugby, I can't do that anymore, and like what the fuck do I do? Like, I got out of this sport, and that's always a weird thing after powerlifting for me. It's like, I think it's called like post-meet depression.
Mm.
Like you've I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but it's like you work for fucking 8 months for this thing, whether you do really good or really bad. That Monday rolls around, and you're just like,
what do we do now?
Yeah, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then, you figure it out from there. But I guess all of that is to have less regrets.
Yes.
Make decisions that you'll regret less. is like a conscious thing that I really want to start concreting in. You know, I'm a pretty bad overthinker.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of comes in my job because I get calls from customers and this, that, and the other, and their problem is the biggest fucking problem that you've ever seen in your whole life.
Right. Yeah.
You know, my building is XYZ, and no, you've never seen this before. And this is the most massive problem you've ever seen in your life. And if I sit there in my truck and I start getting all worked up and overthink it, and I show up and someone's literally just turned the thermostat off, then, well, okay. All that overthinking wasn't worth a crap.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you sit there and you overthink the crap out of it. You get there, and it is a serious problem. Well, now you've created this whole diagnosis mind state. You might be going the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like overthinking would be my biggest flaw of things, and even dealing with people. You know, I'm a pretty heavy communicator, and some people aren't, and so that's things you got to get used to. And but to have no, and you're never going to have no regrets at all. But kind of a thing I want to instill is just like, just make conscious decisions that you're happy with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you're going to have a regret, be comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, acknowledge it, but then accept it.
And learn from it.
And learn from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck that up.
Yeah. Let's not do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because any of these, you know, negative experiences that we have through life, sure, they may suck, but we need to learn to be grateful for those bad things as much as we are for the good things.
Right.
Because I would say those bad moments are even more teachable moments for us. Or they
100%.
can be. They can be. If you
I think that's the whole dopamine receptors in the brain. You know, I think, you know, when you think about, like, say if you won $1,000 on a lottery ticket, some shit like that. For a brief little moment, you didn't worry about shit.
Yeah, you're like, I got $1,000.
Fuck yeah. All right, cool. All right, now say you run into a curb and pop your fucking tire. That's ruined your whole last day. For people like me and you, that's ruined a lot of fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, if I walked out to that truck with a kid in my arms, phone in my damn side, got guys calling me, blah 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 blah, and I walked out there and that truck's on flat. Oh shit!
Yep.
Like my whole day has gone.
Yeah.
And there's not a damn thing to do about it besides fix it.
Yep.
It would suck and it'd be complicated and have to figure some things out. But you just got to do what you got to do and move on from it. It's so much easier to learn from bad shit. Because, like, all right, so say if I walk out in the morning, the truck's on flat, and I start cussing up a storm, being mad, then, you know, I end up probably taking that out on somebody else, this and that and the other. What good did that do? That person didn't do anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fix your own problem, move on from it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of one of those things that I think, yeah, you're definitely right. You definitely learn more from negative than you do positive.
Yeah.
And it probably shouldn't be that way. But I think it's going to be that way.
Yeah, I think maybe for men especially, tend to be like hard-headed. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, I can do this when nobody else can. So whenever life punches you in the stomach, it's like, oh, okay, I understand now. As opposed to like, everything's green and everything's great. It's like, yeah, that's cool. But, you know, it's like, when's the jig gonna be up? Like, right. When's the shit really gonna hit the fan?
And also, there's a sense of like humility you have to have. Mm-hmm. You know, if God forbid, if you died tomorrow, it'd be, you know, you're one of my best friends. It'd be mortifying. But at the end of the day, like, there's been very influential, very iconic people die. The world keeps on ticking.
Mm-hmm.
the lights still turn on in the kitchen, doors still open, business is still open. You can't think that your life is to some certain standard where, if I'm not here doing X, Y, Z, then no one else is fucking here.
Right.
It's not true.
Yeah.
You're a cog in the wheel no matter what you say. So make that cog do something good.
I love that. Yeah.
And I think most people fail at that a lot.
Yeah.
I know I have, staying down, staying in the mood, and it reflects upon your partner or your wife or your kids or your boss or your coworkers or employees. Whatever, you got to look at yourself as a billboard. And like, if you got a billboard, I'm a jackass today. or am I, a cool guy today?
Yeah.
I think we narrow it down, like just make a conscious decision every single morning. Wake your ass up, you look in that mirror, and have just a few little trigger words of like, I'm a good father. Or XYZ is gonna happen. And just keep that with you. And one step at a time. If you overload it, it'll never work out. If you force it, it'll never work out. You'll end up probably disappointing yourself more, and you'll just be in a hole.
Yeah.
So,
something that in that Tony Robbins seminar that I did, he said, stop thinking of things that happen to you in life as things that happen to you.
Right.
He said, life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you. Whether it be good or bad.
Yep.
All of these things that you experience are for you.
We're also all living the same damn life. We're on the same planet with the same set of rules. Certain situations might not affect others, but most likely you're not the first person to ever deal with it.
Yeah.
And, for some people to be selfish enough to think like, this happened to me.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah. I'm the only one who's ever experienced this.
You're probably not.
Yeah. Almost guaranteed not. Yeah. Throughout the history of humanity, all the people, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Chances are somebody else is going through, if not the exact same thing, something very similar.
Yes.
So, cut that bullshit out that I'm this specially persecuted person. It's like, you're not. The universe doesn't give a fuck about you that much. They don't. Yeah. It doesn't. That doesn't mean that your life is pointless.
Right.
It just means that, things aren't out to get you personally.
Yeah.
Shit happens to everybody. Suck it up. Accept that it happened. And move on.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Were you ever at a point in time in your life where you were terrified to die? I used to think about this shit all the time. Horrified.
This is going to sound like super nerdy and kind of fucked up at the same time. So, let's see. It was 1990. It was 8 or 9. You're going to laugh as soon as I say this. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace came out.
You were laughing at me?
Yes. I was born in 92. What?
I thought you said 89.
No, 99.
Okay.
It was either 99 or 98. I can't remember. And there's this character. I know you haven't seen it, so I'll explain it to you and the other people who haven't seen Star Wars. Shame on you.
I'm saying little bits. Don't just blast me out there, but yeah.
Anyway, there's this character named Qui-Gon Jinn. Are you familiar with him? So he's played by Liam Neeson.
Okay.
And me as a 6-7-year-old was like, this is a fucking man. And at some point in the movie, he was, saying that he didn't fear death. That, like, if it happens, it happens. And the way that my worldview was that, death wasn't that big a deal, that there was, things waiting for me on the other side. And I almost, like, welcomed it. I was almost to where I was like, there's so many chances for me to miss out on this grand opportunity post-death if I, fuck up in whatever way, millions of ways that are possible, that I was almost like, wouldn't it be better if I died now and was guaranteed this awesome thing,
Right.
as opposed to living this long life and having all these possibilities of fucking that up?
Yeah.
So I was like, I think it would be better if I just died now.
Yeah.
Which is super fucked for a 6-year-old.
Yeah, terrible. Holy shit. Yeah, 6-year-old.
So that's me.
Sweet.
I mean, I don't want to die. I would love it if I did it for a very long time.
Right.
But again, like that conversation we were having, I think I would be at peace knowing that I've done good things and set my relationships in good places.
Yeah.
As of now.
Yeah. I like it.
I don't think you answered that question as far as like, if death walked in the bar, well, how would you react?
So, I will say having a child 100% changes that answer.
Yeah.
Death walks in the bar now, tells me, hey, look, man, it's time to roll. I'm going to be super, super sad. As a parent, how I look at it, and I do look at things a lot differently than most. I've always, and it's weird to even try to put a timeline on it, but like, I want to see my kid have a kid. I want to see my kid find that person, and I want to see them create their legacy. And I've always kind of told myself after that, I'm good to go. And so it would suck at this point in time because she's so young. Like she doesn't even speak full words and like all that and the other. I would hate it. Not be anything that I wanted. There would be a lot of shit. But I do know that there's people instilled in her life and there's processes made up that she would be okay. And everything be laid out for her to move down a path of life. And so at that point in time, and those are some things that I've done. So I'm like, well, I've done this. So, okay, at least she's taken care of. But yeah, no, that's definitely a different story with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. That's a whole different complication that throws in there. Yeah. And if I didn't make it clear, like I don't,
no,
I don't want to die right now, and I would definitely be super bummed.
Yeah, neither one of us want to die today.
Yeah, no.
We're not going to go drink some Kool-Aid here in a minute.
It tastes like almonds.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But as dark and as fucked up as that might sound, it's like that's an important question to ask yourself. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not happy with that, you still have time to change.
100%.
Even if
you got time to change until the fucking clock stops.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So don't stop trying to change just because things aren't going my way. Don't ever seem to make
become Christians and become involved in ministry and get educations on life sentences in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So just because of your circumstances does not mean it's all over.
Right.
Some people are dealt a hell of a lot worse hand of cards than others.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, like, there's been people come from shit and end up good. Unfortunately, we see a lot of those people are scumbags, but there's still good out there, and you've got to stay on that mindset that good people can still do good things and make something of themselves. But I think fearing death is not a good thing. I don't think that makes for a good day. It makes for a good life. I think you need to you got to take it day by day. You can't know what you're not promised.
Right. Yeah.
If so, that whole scenario can be turned in a whole bunch of different ways. But you just you don't know, so you might as well just live a life that you're happy with. And you won't be happy with everything, and there will be bad things happen to you, but you got to turn left or right and make the best of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, kind of down the little dark road there, but that's okay.
It is dark, but I think you have the possibility of looking at it in a positive or negative way. And if you're thinking about this and it's making you have negative thoughts, that should be your wake up call to change some shit. Because if you're not if your life ends now and you're not satisfied with it,
it's your fault.
It's your fault. Yeah. And it is your fault. It's nobody else's, because regardless of whatever shit bad things happen to you, you're responsible for how you react to those things. It's not, hey, this person cut me off in traffic, or this person keyed my car or slashed my tires, whatever. Yeah, that sucks. You're responsible for how you react to that. You're responsible for the next step.
Yeah.
Am I going to, like you were saying earlier, am I going to just cuss up a storm? I'm just going to be like, well, the whole day's ruined, and I'm just going to be pissed off all day then?
Right.
That's an option. That is an option.
Yep. And it won't do you any good.
Yeah, no. Or can you take a deep breath, try to get a little bit of calmness going on, and say, you know what? We're going to take care of this, and then we're going to move on. We're going to fix the problem, and then once that's done, that shit's in the past.
Yeah. You can also use people near you to also improve your situation. Like, Jeffrey went and ran that 7 miles today. I had zero intention of running a 5K today. I was like, you know what? He went and did it, so fuck it, I'll go send it too. And people that are close to you that are doing good, I'm not saying grab on their coattails and try to ride the train, but maybe look at it and be like, if some shit's not going right in your life, maybe give it try something they're trying. Or, hey, you mind if I join you next time? And, it might work out. Might not, but it's not going to hurt. You can always try something.
Yeah.
See what happens.
When you were talking just now, I thought of like a flock of geese.
Yeah.
They fly in the V formation because whoever's at the front, they're the spearhead. They're breaking the wind apart, and the others are benefiting from that. They've got less resistance. Yeah. And whoever's in front, they don't fly the whole migration pattern up front. It's not like I'm the captain,
right?
I'm up front. No, they take turns, rotate. Like, okay, I'm tired. I need some rest. So, you're not riding that person's coattails, like what you were saying. It's like this person might be in the lead right now, so I'm going to I'm going to get information. I'm going to benefit from their direction.
Yeah, that's probably a key thing a lot of people need to learn in relationships. Myself, I don't know any relationship that's ever benefit from not doing this. It's like it's checks and balances the whole way up. I've heard a term. If I'm at 70% today, I'm gonna need my friends, my partner, my wife, my whatever. Those people, I'm gonna look to them to make up that other 30. And you've also got to set people up in your life to do that for you, and make yourself have this little community. And so, yeah, it's all, it really all boils down to just you control your own day, you control your own destiny. Yes, there will be roadblocks thrown in the way, but at the end of the day, you decide what you do with them. You can't blame somebody else for them.
Nope.
And you might try some shit and it don't work. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just go on to the next thing.
Yeah, I love I think it was Edison who said, he failed at making the light bulb
10,000 times.
So many times. He's like, he's like, I didn't fail. I just found
How not to fucking
9,999 ways not to make a light bulb.
Yeah.
It's like, those weren't failures. Those were necessary building blocks to get me where I needed to go, to where, hey, now we're there. Now we've got the light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can look at things that don't succeed as like, man, I'm just failing and I'm failing and I'm failing and I'm failing. Or you can say, hey, you know what? I did this. Sure, maybe I didn't have fun doing this thing. Maybe it didn't get me what I needed to, but I did something. I took a step. I did something to try and make my life a little bit better. Now, guess what? Now we're going up. Now we're going up instead of, oh, I'm sad and I'm just going to never try anything new again. I'm just going to fucking, oh.
Yeah.
It's like, no, put yourself out there. Put a little effort. It doesn't have to succeed.
Right.
But continuous effort is what it's about. As soon as you stop putting forth effort towards your relationships, your hobbies, your work, guess what? Those things are going to go to shit pretty quick.
Real quick.
Pretty quick. So if you need everything to be perfect all the time in order to put effort towards it, you're so fucked.
Yeah.
Because guess what? It's not.
Ever.
Yeah.
Billionaires kill themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
People that have all the tangible funds, liquid dollars in the whole fucking world still commit suicide. Famous people still commit suicide. They got the cars, they got the girls, they got the houses, they got the money, the jets all the fucking time. Everybody can have depression. Everybody can have sadness, and everybody can't handle it. And it does not matter your stance in life, whether you're on the corner begging for money or in a mansion in fucking Bel Air. You will have problems, and things will not ever be perfect.
Yep.
And that's a thing that everyone in the whole planet will have in common. And that's just what people have to realize. But we'll kind of pivot off and close this thing out with some lighthearted stuff. I know we talked about, if we have new people on, that we're going to ask them like 2 questions. I think it was like, what's your favorite drink and what's your favorite firearm?
Those are the 2.
Did me and you ever answer that question? Or did we just ask Ben?
I'm pretty sure. I think we did.
Did we? Okay.
I mean, we could do it again because obviously neither of us remember.
Yeah.
So our vast audience of listeners probably doesn't either.
Right.
So it was. I've even forgotten now.
Favorite drink?
And then firearm. That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
You can go first. I'll let you go first.
Favorite drink would be tequila. And if I have to mix it with something, it's going to be Sprite. If I'm drinking good tequila, which is going to be tequila. Speaking of, Pantalones.
You mean your favorite drink is Fireball? First one is Fireball.
Fireball.
And this is a close second.
Yeah. But favorite firearm, I don't know. I've always been that guy that said, AR-15s are gay. But I got an AR-10.
It's different.
It's better. I think that's probably now my favorite. Yeah, I have a 6-hour 7.16 tread that is it's pretty damn cool. So that would be my current favorite firearm.
I didn't shoot that. I haven't shot that yet.
Oh, we're going to shoot it. We're going to shoot it in quiet mode, too.
Ooh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Hell yeah. Eat. Let's see. My favorite drink, I love scotch. Scotch. Love it.
I understand. I understand you people and your scotch.
If it's not scotch, an old fashioned. And if I go anywhere, it's like, I will take your old fashioned, I will try it. And it's almost always good. Firearm, I did answer this one because I remember what I said. It was my dagger, which is currently my carry weapon, which is kind of insane because I sold my other carry weapon.
You sold your Glock?
I did. Ben bought it.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was having problems with his Glock. So he's like, this thing's not reliable. He's like, I need something that's going to be reliable.
How the fuck do you have a problem with Glock?
He's made a ton of modifications.
Oh, he made the problem with Glock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's got my 43X now, and he loves it. I've got a 365 Legion on the way.
Boom! You finally pulled the trigger on that.
Yeah, it's on the way. It's on the way. So that'll
be the carry weapon.
Yeah, which is a little excessive, but fuck it. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've loved just like seeing how much I've improved shooting the dagger.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's basically a Glock. So if you can shoot a Glock, dude,
it's a Glock 19, right?
17. Because it's a full size. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, love it.
So I think with this podcast, I like the direction we're going, where we kind of go, we do some goofy shit, do here, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
blah blah. But I do think we get some solid guests on, and I want to get with you, and we'll get some Instagram stuff involved, and find some people. At least every other week, try to have somebody on. So
I like that.
People that are listening, most likely both of us. DM us, let us know, hey, y'all should have this person, or if you think yourself has some value and wants to be heard about some things, reach out, let us know. Jeffrey's also the founder of Ash and Elm. I'm just kind of a guy that's involved with Ash and Elm. It's a clothing brand that do cool shit. Check it out. We might figure out how to I don't know if we can put a link in here, but
yeah, probably somehow.
It's a clothing brand that two dudes just kind of spitball some shit around, and
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
Driving back from the forest in Utah, I was like, "Why don't you just do it?"
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, well, yeah, let's do it then."
Yeah, and so pretty cool stuff. And I think we need to just hit. I'm not a big social media guy.
It's so hard, dude. It's such a pain.
I think we're going to hit it kind of hard and figure some things out and see if people really want to hear what we're yapping about.
Yeah.
So, episode 13, folks. Love everybody. Be good. Pet your dogs.
Adios.
Don't kick your kids. Love you.
Pet your dogs. Don't kick your kids. That's about